date. I just didn't like the Leia Force thing.
Leia Force thing.
The Mary Poppins thing.
No, I know what you're talking about. I thought that was cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it when somebody explained, like, maybe that was, like, her, like, flight or fight instinct.
Exactly. That's
and I was like, that's cool, but
it.
you shouldn't have to explain that to me for me to, like, get it, you know?
Well, welcome to the MediaTech Podcast on that note. Today we are with student Jordan Jewell. How's it going?
It's going. How are you?
Good, man. So you are the December 2019 YouTube and Facebook Student of the Month.
Oh, wow. I'm honored. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
And this is what, your 25th MediaTech Podcast you've been on?
Yeah, feels
Something
like
that. So today we are going to talk about Jordan with Jordan. About Jordan with Jordan.
I feel special.
Just kind of talking about sort of his unique path through to MediaTech. Maybe we'll talk about how we met, etc. So happy Wednesday.
Yeah.
So right now we're in the middle of a break, but there are still people here. We're in Studio A here at the Dallas campus. But if there's some talking or hallway noise, please forgive us. How's your break going so far?
It's going well. I've been enjoying it. The days off, just chilling and not having to do so much homework.
But you were telling me you're still doing some work.
Yeah, I am still doing some work. I'm doing filming some comedy shows that luckily MediaTech gets us jobs for. I'm also shooting like a promo for a family friend, so I'm doing a lot.
That's cool, man. So let's talk early. How did you first get interested in film and video?
Film and video. Well, I was kind of born into it. My dad's always been a video guy, and but I always consider myself a MediaTech baby almost because my dad worked here and since I can remember almost. And about 8 or 9, I picked up a little DV tape and put it in the camera and started shooting my own movies.
So your dad is Eric Jewell. He is the head of the film program here in Dallas and has been the head of the film program since before I even came here, and I graduated in 2013. I remember him leading the tour a couple of locations ago for MediaTech back when they were at the studios at Las Colinas, and I was a sophomore in high school, so that was 2009. That he was leading the tour when I first learned about MediaTech.
Wow.
So it's been at least 10 years that he's worked for MediaTech.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So your dad's background, we went over a little bit in a podcast I did with him several months ago. But so he's always been in the video and film sort of career since you were born, right?
Right, yeah. He was, when I was really young, he was working up at AMS Pictures and traveling and doing shows and things like that for them, and that was always really cool to go up to those studios, those giant studios.
Yeah.
Even more giant when I was super small. So
for those that aren't aware, AMS is I think mostly documentary, right? Studio here in Dallas. Man, their facility is so cool.
And another teacher of ours used to work there, Monica.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've worked with her actually before I started working here. I had no idea she was at AMS, but it's really neat. You walk in and it's literally like Main Street at Disneyland. It's the weirdest thing.
It's so weird. It's all themed.
It's extremely cool, but it's literally like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It's like Main Street at Disneyland. Like, they have a theater, which is their screening room that you go in, and there's like a ticket booth, and they have they have a diner, which is their like break room, and then they have several different suites for audio. We're getting down this long path of talking about AMS when we're supposed to be talking about Jordan Jewell. But
back to AMS on that movie theater. I remember when Guitar Hero first came out. I was up there playing Guitar Hero on that screen. It was so much fun.
That's so cool. I remember your dad actually told us about that when he took us on because I don't know if he still does it, but he took us on a field trip.
Yeah, he takes the first year students on a field trip to AMS. So if you're a first year, be looking out for that.
And so what was so you said you were 8 or 9 when you first got your first practical, you put a tape into a camera. Had you always been interested in filmmaking or just films in general before then?
Before then, I mean, I've always liked acting. I've always really enjoyed Jim Carrey and people like that who are very physical actors. And I get lost in their movies, and I always enjoyed watching those movies and, all those 80s nostalgic movies that my dad grew up watching. He showed me, and I loved those too. But another thing that kind of got me into film was Movie Institute's Camp Hollywood. I don't know if you know anything about that.
But we can talk about that.
Yeah, shameless plug. But it's an awesome program. Every summer they have this thing called Camp Hollywood, and it's a summer camp for kids. It's a day camp, and kids come out and they spend a whole week just creating a movie from start to end, their ideas, the kids' ideas, and that's where I really got my start and kind of got the lay of the land.
And your dad's been involved with the Movie Institute for a while, right?
Oh yeah, since 2000.
That's so cool. I remember I helped out with one of those, and I had no idea what it was before I helped out. And it's like, man, I wish I knew about it when I was a kid.
Right,
I live in California, so I couldn't have gone. But man, it's the coolest thing. Do they still do it, right?
Oh yeah, I teach at, I mentor at it now. So
that's cool.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, and they're expanding. We're doing middle schools where we have an after school program and create a movie over a course of like every Monday for a month.
Wow, that's neat. So how old were you when you first went to Camp Hollywood?
I think they let me come in just a little earlier than I should have because of my experience at that age. But I was 8. I was 8.
Do you remember the movie you made?
Yeah, we made it was right around the Columbine shooting, so it didn't go very well with parents. But we made a film about some kids coming and holding some students as hostages, and then by the end of it, there was a good moral lesson that the kids learned, and two of the kids that were like in on it took down the other kid, and it was in the end it was a good story. But I remember I tried out for a line and I got the line, and then they were like, "All right, it's time for this guy's line," and then they gave it to the kid next to me, and I was like, "Oh man, there goes my shot at the big screen for that." No.
So I guess that was your first experience really getting down and dirty with video or film production. Did you have any other experiences like that prior to coming to MediaTech?
Okay, so one time my dad let me, this probably isn't good, but he let me skip school to be an actor for him, me and my older sister, and maybe that's two bad things. Child labor for free and then, skipping class. But
God, Eric.
It was a lot of fun. That's actually where I met Tiffany, who's teaching our acting and cosmetology stuff here, and she was doing makeup for the shoot, and it was just super interesting to see it all. Not kids this time. It's actually people running this and setting up lights, and it was really surreal, but it was definitely cool to be a part of.
That isn't. What was the project? Do you remember?
It was for like a satellite in your car.
Oh, neat.
Wow. Now that's like, I feel like that's just on my phone, It's crazy.
So when we first met, I was growing my company, and we do a lot of podcasts, obviously. And I needed, because I was still working full-time at another company, so I needed someone available during the day to help run podcasts. And I reached out to your dad, which I used to and still do whenever I need someone, and he immediately suggested you. And at the time, I think you were undecided or unsure of whether you wanted to come to MediaTech, because that was probably a year before you started.
Yeah.
So what was your initial, like when you graduated high school, what were you wanting to do?
Well, I was fortunate enough to go to a high school where they had a semi-small film program there, and I was part of that. It was called AMAT. Like, that was an acronym for something. So I got to just go in and make videos every day of school, and so that kind of helped me progress and practice and learn how to make narratives and short commercials and things. But beyond that, straight out of high school, I went to a production company, and I worked for that production company for a year, and it was a startup production company, so it wasn't anything like AMS. It was interesting, to say the least. But after that ended, I learned a lot there. I learned, the corporate hierarchy, how all that works, and, client relations and stuff, and that was awesome. But after that, I realized, like, I want to kind of do this myself, but I felt like I still needed to test myself. So I came to MediaTech, and also for the people, the relationships here, it's awesome just knowing that there's other people that want to do the same thing I want to do.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so are you about to graduate, or?
Yeah, I got one more semester. I'm going to make my movie. And
nice.
Yeah, and so that should be fun.
We'll get to that in a minute. But so when you first started at MediaTech, I mean, obviously you were a MediaTech baby, like you said. So I assume you kind of had an idea of what it would be like. But what was it like when you actually started, and like, wow, now I'm a student at MediaTech? That must have been kind of surreal.
It was weird because, I grew up watching these students go to school, and then now I'm in the class. And the other weird aspect is I've worked with Lee before, because he worked with the Movie Institute, and now he's my teacher. and so, I mean, it's a little weird. And but I even worked with Monica before I came here. And I started taking notes. I did everything that I did in classes before, and it worked out. And I made friends, and I'm glad I did it because I knew what a C-47 is, but I didn't know what the name of this was or how I was failing that way. And it really gave me context to what I was doing.
That's cool. And so what are some of the bigger projects that you've worked on so far here?
So far, my first semester, we do like live broadcasts and things like that, which was a lot of fun and hectic, but I'm glad we did it. And then I've created 2 music videos now with Jacob Wallace directing with me, and those are pretty fun. We also did a 24-hour video race, which we did a podcast about that. And then me and Wallace also did a Film Riot challenge, which I think was sponsored by Lacey Rugged, the hard drives. And that was a lot of fun. We did an action scene in a minute, and that one was crazy. And they're all on my website. But yeah, go check them out.
That's cool. We'll put the link in the description. So you started getting that background knowledge, and you started going through and working with Wallace. I know you mentioned him. I mean, seems like y'all are always together.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit more about the 24-hour film project?
Yeah, the 24-hour film project was, so I did that when I was young I was up here with the students because they've done it. The MediaTech sponsors it as long as the kids want to do it, as long as the students want to do it. And this year, me and Wallace, I showed it to Wallace, and Wallace was like, yeah, let's do that. And we got other people interested, aka my dad sent out an email to all the students because he has it. It was a lot of fun, and growing up watching it, I stayed up longer than some of the students when I was up here at like 12 doing it with them. And I learned it's just straight up snorting film, and just that's how it is to me. It's just adrenaline rush of film.
And we did a whole podcast about that if you're interested. So check out the link in the description for that as well. So now you're about to make your final movie here in a few weeks. You're going to start on that. For those that are unaware, the final project for the digital film and video program at MediaTech is the class literally comes together and makes a short film from start to finish, concept through to final delivery, and even like a premiere. It's pretty cool. Do you have any ideas on that?
Oh, yeah. I'm working on a script right now. Wallace is working on like 4 scripts. So what's weird is our classes, everybody's got a script idea, and it's awesome.
It's unusual.
It is unusual that I've heard. And so script reading, table read day should be interesting. Should be a long day.
You want to give any context as what's yours about?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it. It's kind of a Black Mirror meets Truman Show-esque idea. So
that's cool.
That's all I'm going to say right now.
Yeah. Do you know about any of your classmates, what they're writing about?
Yeah, I know Kate Kelly, she's got a very Black Mirror idea. And I love those Twilight Zone, just out of reach concepts that I like a lot. And so I'm kind of shifting towards her idea too, because her idea could go so many ways. And, yeah, and everybody else, I don't know too many of everybody else. We're all kind of being stingy right now, trying to get our creativeness out and then bring it to the table, because we know there's going to be rewrites. We know there's going to be other drafts. So, we got to get all of it out now before we bring it to the team.
Cool. And what are you looking forward to most about that project?
Oh, man, I hope we just make something good enough to put in film festivals or something. That's my goal for this, is to be able to enter a film festival.
Well, sweet. And what's in store for you in the future? What do you hope to go after MediaTech?
Oh, man, that's I don't got 2020 vision. It's 2019. No,
we're like 2 weeks away from 2020.
Yeah, I definitely am going to keep freelancing for the time being, and probably send my resume out to a few in-house companies where they need an in-house media guy, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of options for me, which I'm very fortunate and lucky to have, so we'll see.
Well, awesome, man. So I guess we'll roll right into your interview here in a second, but if you're interested in learning more about Jordan, check out the Student of the Month video we did with him. And if you're interested in a career in digital film and video, or you might be interested in a career in acting, makeup, recording art, which is like music production, audio production, animation, the list goes on, make sure you check out MediaTech. We are here in Studio A at the Dallas location, and as you can see behind me, the minute that you come in here and see see the facilities, you will be sold. And the instructors and the people here, the facilities are amazing, but they're even better. So make sure you schedule a free tour. There's another campus in Houston if that's more convenient for you. And again, if you're interested in your career in media, there's no better place. Check out MediaTech.edu and subscribe to the YouTube channel and wherever you're listening. And that's the end of my spiel. And we'll see you again next week with another episode. Thank you, guys.